Oh, shit.
You're out of order. The whole freaking system is out of order. You want the truth? You want the truth? You can't handle the truth!
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Okay guys, now I'm going to talk about, for my ramble this week, I'm going to talk about something that affects a lot of men, and it's not mental health, it's not erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation, okay, it's something much worse than all of that. It is having to suffer through the triangle of terror, which is visiting Home Bargains, B&M and Dunelm in one day. Now, visiting any one of these shops isn't such a chore, okay? I mean, you go into a place like Dunelm, you can get some nice bedding and some cool little trinkets. B&M's always got some cool little items as well. You can always have a look at the toy section. All men do it, just admit it. And Home Bargains, you can pick up some bargains. You know, it's not just a clever name. But on those days where you have to traipse around all three of those hellholes, those are the days where you think that God has forsaken you, and you know you ask yourself why are you doing this? You know, granted you're with your partner, do you really want to please her that much? You know, is it worth putting you through all that? I mean, would she be as happy to go round I don't know, Game, HMV and a random men's clothing shop? I doubt it very much. I doubt it very, very much. But you see, as men, we're born into servitude, okay? We have to do what we are told and go where we are told for a quiet life. Now, a quiet life is not something to be sniffed at. Excuse me, my cigar is dwindling, so I need to relight this sumbitch. A quiet life is what we all dream of. But it's not always attainable. Now, that is the Triangle of Terror, but there's one more shop that my skin crawls at the very mention of its name. And it's not like they use slave labour or testing animals. It's just the sheer fact that it exists and how excited women get about going there, and some men as well. And that's nothing to do with with homosexuality or anything like that, you know, because I'm liking it to women. I mean, they like going there because they are just sad, and that is the Range. I hate the Range. I once went into the Range, and the car park was busy. I was thrilled because I thought a car might hit me, saving me having to go in there. I mean, you think the idea of something that's basically like, I don't know, hobby shop meets cookware shop meets furniture shop, you think meets Dunelm, maybe that's, you know, not so bad, but you go in there and for me it's just soul destroying. I mean, I love looking at cookware and stuff like that because I like cooking, okay? Cookware, knives, stuff like that. Love looking at that and just imagine, I could get one of them, this, that and the other. But I won't, you know, because I don't. I even had a look at the art supplies once ago. I thought about taking up oil painting, but I didn't, you know. But then at Christmas, the Range it's unreal. I mean, firstly, they start putting their Christmas stuff out in like September, which is just ridiculous anyway, but September, seriously? The fuck thinks about Christmas in September? It's ridiculous. And I just feel for these poor bastards you see in there. I mean, the staff hate it there. You see men following women around, hoping that the ground will swallow them up, or maybe that the place will burn down while they're in there. I don't mean to be negative about that, but I don't know how people get so excited about it. I mean, you go in there, it's this great, massive building, and it's so much promise, but then you go in there, it's just a big letdown. Oh, it's like the Hobbit movies. So much promise, but such a big letdown. That's how I like in the range. It's crushing. And when you think that in certain places they've got a B&M, a Range, a Dunelm, and a Home Bargains, all within, I don't know, a square mile. Whoever did that, whoever designed that, is worse than Hitler, okay? Worse than Hitler. If you don't agree, please, hit me up in the comments, but I don't like the Range, okay? I can tolerate Dunelm, I can tolerate B&M, I can tolerate Home Bargains, not all on the same day, but the Range takes the biscuit. It really does. I think women are bred to basically thrive off the angst and miserableness. Is that a word, miserableness? And misery of their significant other whilst they prance around the Range, picking stuff up, looking at it and put it down, because they never buy anything from that little section. They would go upstairs and buy something for the garden. I went into one of these shops. I wanted a giant rhino made of rhinestones, but I wasn't allowed it. No. She wants to get a bloody cover for the bloody patio table. That's fine. Yeah. No giant rhinestone rhino for me though. Fucking liberties. Anyway, I digress. I'm not a massive fan of shopping in general, to be fair, but I can tolerate it sometimes. I mean, hey, I'll admit it, sometimes I even enjoy it, but sometimes I play up on purpose just so I get sent to the car. Not gonna lie. Just try that, guys. Play up on purpose, start knocking things around, start running around the shop, pretend you're lost, cry a little bit. See if she'll send you to the car. Oh, fuck it, see if you can get thrown out. Mate, that's a challenge, guys. What shop can you get thrown out of? Let me know. I want to hear that. So, I've kept this ramble short today because my guest ramble is a long one today. I've got my buddy Chris Home Jim doing my guest ramble, and we went on for about an hour and 15 minutes. So I've had to cut that into 3 parts. So for the next 3 shows, you'll get a Chris Home Jim guest ramble, which should be good. It should be good. And that's that, guys. Anything you think I should have a ramble about, let me know at regansramblings@gmail.co.uk. No, that's not it. That's my email. Yeah, regansramblings@gmail.com. Hit me up. Or on my Instagram, Regan_pro_wrestler. And we can have a chat then. Right, guys, now it's time for my guest ramble this week. And as my guest, I have one of my biggest supporters, Mr. Chris Wallace, or as he's better known in my question section, Chris_home_Jim on Instagram. Let's take a little bit of a look at Chris before we crack on with the interview.
Show a little improvement to show it all would take too long. That's called
so hot. So hot. So now, via the technological wizardry that is Skype, here we are. Chris.
Here we go. Chris, good to have you with us. Well, me, because I'm all alone.
Cheers.
You are being recorded. Do you consent?
It feels very strange to you. It's like the first time you ever asked me to consent to anything. Normally it's just, ruggedly in the alley somewhere, which is an alley we're not allowed to talk about.
We're not allowed to talk about that alley.
But no, yes, I consent to being recorded.
Excellent. Okay, Chris, I've done you a great introduction, which you will pretend you've already seen, which you haven't.
I trust you.
Oh, you fool. Okay, Chris, what do you want to ramble about today?
Well, as your strength and conditioning coach, which I know you love me for, I thought we could talk about, especially everyone who's in lockdown, let's talk about home fitness, let's talk about training at home, and let's talk about why we train and a bit about motivation.
Okay.
Cool. So I guess my biggest thing is I get, cheap plug, I have an Instagram account that has a fair few followers.
I've already plugged you on that, don't worry about it.
Thank you. But no, I get a lot of questions, as well as a large collection of dick pics, asking me how do I get bigger arms, Chris? How do I get a bigger chest? How do I get a squat? And then, everyone looks at these programs, and programs are so readily available now. When me and you were coming up, it was Men's Health. Might, or Muscle and Fitness. You might get a program.
I preferred Muscle and Fitness. I preferred
Men's Health. It's all about the aesthetic.
Of course you did. You like the pretty boys.
I've got a type. But then there's and you get all these questions and there's always programs you can easily get into. You can easily find out what and how, what to do. But then no one ever sits down and ever asks themselves the question of why do I want to train? Mm-hmm. And there's so many times, I have sat down, written a training program for people, based on what they want, and then 3 weeks in, the first week all guns blazing, second week it's wavering. By week 3 they're at the gym once. Week 4 they might be doing cross training or they want something different. They've had this idea, and it's, in my mind, it's focusing so much on how to train and how to get something. They don't ask themselves the fundamental question, which is why do you train?
Yeah.
So I often get asked. Yeah, sorry.
There's whole, do you want to get bigger? Do you want to get stronger? Do you want to lean up? Are you rehabbing an injury?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. What people don't realise is doing all of those things is bloody hard work.
Yeah, but it goes it even goes beyond that. It's so I always get asked oh, Chris, you must have incredible motivation to get up every morning at 4 a.m., do a workout, lift hard, lift heavy, do your walking, but that's because it's my why. My why is not about. It's because I'm a compulsive narcissist, but it's more about my mental health. My 4 a.m. to 6 a.m., 6:30 in the morning is the quiet time. I've got I work a pretty busy job. A lot of pretty high pressure. I've got 2 kids. We've got COVID, moving house, moving overseas to Geneva, all this stuff going on. But for me, that's 2 hours. That's my therapy. I go in. I've got my quiet time. And my other why is I look at my kids. I'm like, well, I want to be able to. I'm an older dad. I've got a really aggressive 6-year-old who's going to be kicking 7 shades out of me when he's 16. And I've got a pretty hyperactive 2-year-old. I want to be a dad who can keep up with them. And so that's my big why, if you like. And then I think a lot of people have that big overarching picture in mind, I want to get leaner, I want to get bigger, I want to get stronger, right? But then they don't have those smaller milestones, which I like. The reason I like my programmatic training is I go, right, I have a test every 5 weeks. I'm a target-orientated individual, so it suits me, and that's why I want to get to do it. And it's like, so I was thinking about this today, sort of prepping for the ramble, because I over prepare for everything. Me. You went to Tokyo with me. You saw the scheduling. But I looked at it and I thought,
you prepared to fail, Chris.
Indeed. But I look, and please don't hold me back for referencing you. I look at your training this year, right? So you came back from Tokyo, and your wrestling career was taken off. You were getting a lot more bookings.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you had this vision of what you wanted to build your physique, you wanted your strength. And it was the first time I think I've given you a program that you were super consistent.
Yeah.
Obviously until COVID, but that's out of my hands and yours. But you look at it. I remember because I was in London and you texted me while we were waiting for a train.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, my shoulders are knackered, but I've got this wrestling. I want to get more bookings. We talked about it in Tokyo about getting more assertive with your bookings. I really want to do so this year, and part of that is getting stronger in the gym. Can you help me out? And I was so excited. I sat there on the train from London Central to the airport, about 40 minutes, and just drafted this program. But for me, it goes on sort of like, you stuck with it for the first 3 weeks, and then it became into that motivation factor, which is amazing. But when I built the program, because I know you, 25 plus years now,
21.
21. I'm getting old. My memory's going.
You are.
But I look at it and I'm looking at it, right, I know what Huey likes in the gym. I've trained you to do enough. Mm-hmm. I've written you enough programs that didn't work, that you didn't like sticking with. We tried 5x5. I know when you go in.
5x5 was okay. When I was more 5x5, I enjoyed that. Sorry?
For 7 weeks. So like, I know
No, I did 5x5 for like 6 months.
All right, I'll take that back. It worked. Anyway, don't disconnect my argument. This is well cultivated.
It's my show. I control the arguments, okay?
I don't like that. I'm not sure I like you being that's much you control. No, but the point is, like, I know you well, and one thing I know you love to do, even when you did 5x5, you still did it. But what you would do is, quite often, you would love to go hit a cheeky 1 rep max.
Yes, I would.
You love hitting 1 rep maxes.
I do.
Yeah. So, did some research, sat down, I thought, well, let's look at Westside. Westside training, powerlifting training, gets you strong, gets you big, gets you muscles. Oh, and guess what? 3 days a week, you're using a different lift, and you're hitting a 1 rep max. And I was like, well, there's a program that suits you.
That was a great. I can't wait to start picking that program back up again, because I'm going to roll it back probably to the second week.
Yeah.
And then start that again, because that was a great program. I was seeing good results. I was getting strong. I was getting ridiculously stronger.
Yeah.
I did nearly kill myself with a 215 squat as well, remember?
You did. But think how long you've been, so if we think you've been trying to bust 200, get 200 plus.
Yes.
For 3 years since we started
like that.
Yeah, because you hit it quite early, ridiculously strong. But it was a real sticking point, and that just 12 weeks of consistent training, and that was at 0.2 on Chris's pad of genius. Was you stuck with it for the first. You got in. It wasn't just that you got into the program; you got into your routine with the gym.
I did.
Even with the days when, God, I remember you took some horrific bumps on a Saturday. And then you'd be texting me, I am so beat up. Why does your program have me squatting today? But we could adjust it because of the type of program. Again, it was thinking about, we had the why, you had the motivation, you wanted to get bigger, stronger, but you had this, what I saw was these weekly motivations, because you were getting a booking every week. So you knew you had a show on a Saturday, or a Friday, maybe a Sunday, and then you could plan your week. So you had heavy lifting at the start, pump sessions towards the end to get nice and full for the show, and you had these mini pieces of motivation, and then within 6 weeks, because it was a horrifically hard program. I think most people don't understand how hard it is to hit a 1 rep max, a true 1 rep max on a variety of lifts twice a week. It puts and then go wrestling. So it's like the gym's you're having a car crash in the gym, and then you're having a car crash on the weekend, literally, throw your body around. But it became such a habit. You were so ingrained. You were like, well, no, this is what I do. Now, remember, I get up, I go to the gym, and you were putting it around your work schedule. So I do it in the morning or the evenings, and you were just. I know you had some lads who trained with you and sort of came, but this is loops back. This is the whole point of this. Is you notice they would come for 2-3 weeks, and then drift away, and then they come back now 3 weeks later and 4 weeks later. And I think that comes back to that first point I'm saying, which is the why. Like, why are you training? I think the other reason that got me thinking about the why was what I've noticed is a lot of the guys I know through you, You know, I see them. The start of lockdown, people are really motivated, keep training. But then the longer lockdown goes on, it becomes really hard to motivate, because if your motivation is, I'm going to be in front of shows, I'm going to be in front of people, I'm going to be a pro wrestler, pro athlete. If that one of your whys is gone, and I know we talked about this, it's like you struggled with it. It's like, it's getting fired up to train up at home is hard. And I think, you look at is it Joe Wicks on his fitness page, right? So you look at week 1, workout 1, 6.4 million people tune in to do it, right? You look at this morning, 300,000.
Wow.
So, and you can see it week by week dropping, and that is the whys. Why am I doing this? Scaling away.
It's almost like WWE ratings.
I don't watch that. I only watch New Japan AEW. I'm very hipster. And by the way, you can tell Tommy, yes, I do know where the Guardians of the Galaxy come from.
That's brilliant. Okay, what is next on your list?
What's next on my list? Oh, right. So I've got to. That was my big rant.
Okay, it was good. That was good.
I see. I am wise. Never forget that the evening after. This is a complete aside. Evening after the Tokyo Dome last night, absolutely hammered.
Yeah.
Talking about rating systems with 2 very large Americans.
Yeah.
And it was the first time you ever looked at me and went, "He's quite clever."
You always just hit it well.
I know.
Good night.
One's not allowed to have this level of good looks and this level of charm.
And there we are with the complete narcissism. Brilliant.
Well, at least I'm self-aware.
It's very true. Very true.
So my final point, it linked back to, I think, one of the questions that got asked on Facebook by... yes. And he was asking about... I've
got it in front of me here.
Oh, perfect.
What low impact exercise would be good to help with weight loss and stomach toning? Now, that annoys me, that doesn't, because I've got to tone my tummy up. I've got to tone my bum up. You can't do that. You cannot target fat loss. It's all or nothing.
Yep. But it's also, you know me, I have this debate with my better half on a regular basis, normally 6 weeks before a holiday. And interesting enough, last year she started lifting heavy and got in the best shape of her life. I mean, not saying it was down to my programming, but
Sure, it was down to determination, Chris.
Probably also walking the kids to school 6 miles a day. So
that'll do it.
But the reason I got there is, one was the same question as you. Is like fat loss. I could give you all the exercises in the world, but if you're eating crap, it's not going to happen. You'll get stronger, maybe, depending on what you're training. You'll get better at something. You'll grease the groove, but you're not necessarily going to get slimmer.
No.
I remember, so I turned 40 2 years ago, and going up to 40, I decided, right, I want to have really ripped up abs for the first time in, I don't know, ever. No, I was I was 16. No, so I wanted
16, really?
Yeah. I wanted to get really slim and toned up, and tone. When I say tone, in my expression, tone means low body fat. So if people say they want to get toned, they mean they want visible abs, visible chest. Think lean. So I always place the word tone for lean.
Lean on.
So I decided to do it, and that was tracking macros. It was in the kitchen. I still power lifted. I still did strongman training. My training did not change. I lifted heavy.
The thing is, what a lot of people won't know, you obviously will, is when you lift weights heavy, your heart rate goes, it elevates to it goes into that fat burning zone, and it maintains there.
Let's not use the term fat burning zone.
Well, that's what it is. That's what it is. Look at Fitbit. Look at the Fitbit app.
You're going to send me off on another tangent.
No, I'll cut you off.
So fat burning zone, Fitbit. If you go into the research properly into exercise science, it's a good marketing strategy. It's the same as people say do HIIT training, and the afterburn effect will burn more calories.
What's the afterburn effect?
So there is the idea that if you do HIIT training, so you do 30 seconds hard, 30 seconds rest for 10 minutes, really hard, flat out, you will achieve what they call the afterburn. So when you come off, you'll burn more calories, your body recovers.
Okay.
It's true, but the amount of calories you burn is equivalent like a celery stick. So
like negative then.
But so what often
It's
happens is
negligible calories.
yeah, there's a piece of scientific literature done and review done by one study, and then it's banded out by, come back full circle, Muscle and Fitness, Men's Health, as this is the best way to do this. Ultimately, lifting weights does burn calories.
Yes.
That is 100% true. Having more muscle mass, right, increases your metabolism and you burn more calories sitting on your arms, right? So that's the general principle. But fat burning zone, your body doesn't have a zone where it goes, it takes glucose first if you're doing explosive movements, right? And then the idea is at steady state, it chooses to take fat or carbs, whichever. But ultimately, it's taking energy from your body, right? Yeah. So if you go and run 6 miles, right, and your heart rate's through the roof, you're burning calories.
Oh, of course you are, of course you are.
If you walk for 6 miles and your heart is in the fat burning zone, you're still burning calories, but you're going to burn less than when you're sprinting.
Of course.
So I think so we're going back to the point. Sorry, you sent me off on one then. The idea that like getting when I was trying to get ripped, one thing I did do is like the usual idea of doing extra cardio is I just went for a walk twice a day.
Yeah.
And you hear a lot of people like Mark Bell, loads of other powerlifters, and talk about just going for a walk, just getting that extra calorie burning. So it's like when we did your programming, we didn't need to do a load of extra cardio because I look at your job, you're on your feet all day, you're walking probably 15,000 steps a day around TCAT.
Yeah.
Around the, if I can say that.
I'll bleep it.
Oh, good. That sounds really suspicious.
I'm not sure how to do that, but I'll manage.
Yeah, just put a walk
to be fair, you can say TCAT because it doesn't exist anymore. So, there you go.
Yeah. I am old. I've not been in Shropshire for a while.
No, he's not really welcome, to be fair.
It's true. I was almost banned. Well, certainly not in the Telford side.
Oof.
You don't mean that. So anyway, back to the point.
Yeah.
Did my powerlifting, but it was all diet. So going back to the question on Facebook was like, how do I tone my tummy? I could tell you to do 300 crunches. I'll give you a whole. Steffi Cohen's got a magnificent ab program that you can pick up for $5. She's this powerlifter who is
American girl. Yeah, I've seen Insta.
Ridiculously jacked, deadlift through the roof, super strong. I can only hope to be as strong as her. I think she's the top female one of the top female powerlifters in the weight class. But also just she's a PA, PhD, doctor of physiology, super smart. It's who I'm getting my programming on right now. And it is killing me. I'm not gonna lie. Squatting 5 times a week is horrendous. But
that's what for me. I struggle with 3, but 5 must be ridiculous.
Yeah. I love to squat. Attack your weaknesses. So anyway, so the point back that he was asking was how do I tone my tummy? How do I lose some weight? Low impact work. And the question I put was, do something you enjoy, because it goes back again to the how and the why. If you hated lifting weights, right, and you hated powerlifting, you hate doing single 1 rep maxes. Give me the program I gave you, you wouldn't stick with it. You'd be like, I hate this, But if you're looking just to get generally fitter, what do you like doing? Do you like walking? Do you like running? Do you like swimming? Do you live in Shropshire and you like going up the Wrekin 3 times a week? And then there's that to me is that it's like find something you enjoy and just do it.
Yeah. Move
more. If you want to quite answer the question of tone your tummy is move more, eat less, keep your protein high, because that's going to help retain your muscle mass as you're losing weight.
Yeah.
And it's relatively simple. But then if you want to get more complex, you go like, well, I want a bigger chest. I want a squat booty. I want a Wallace ass. That's genetic from my mum, but just blessed.
I'm going to send her this link when this is done.
Mrs. Linda Wallace fully endorses that she has gifted all 3 of her sons with a magnificent backside.
She's a saint. That woman's a saint.
She's going to put me up for a month.
That's why she can put you up for adoption, to be fair. But anyway.
Well, but that's questionable anyway, if you ask my brother.
Spicy brother.
I am the spicy brother.
Okay.
I mean, that to me is like the motivation, the how, the why. And it was always really interesting when you look at it all, and I was, because I'm a terrible Facebook stalker. I don't really comment. I just like to read what people's posts and what people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see people like the frustration, the motivation dropping away. And it was sort of in my mind, I was like, well, if you sat there and think about your why, like your long-term why, the COVID's going to come to an end. Gyms are going to open up in, say, October. That's my prediction. But you've got enough stuff at home to do a workout. You just got to find work around your limitations. So if you've got bands, do bands. If you've got body weight, do body weight. But start simple. So I was reflecting again, because I know I've sent you a couple of programs for home workouts, and I was looking at this week, and I was like, it doesn't like training at home. It doesn't get you excited, doesn't get you motivated. You've got limited equipment. I was like, that program's too complex. I think that it's asking too much. Let's think about starting something really basic, like, okay, Monday is deadlift day. You go and do some deadlifts.
Mm-hmm.
I know you like deadlifts. You like lifting heavy. Well, let's do that. You've got equipment for that. Wednesday is, we do some chest work. We do some band chest work and do some overhead pressing. And you start, think about it again, you start smaller and then you build up. I'm not completely altruistic. I was thinking about, I'm going to be in the same situation as you in 2 weeks' time.
Mm-hmm.
So Wallace's home gym is being dismantled. I'll be in sunny Shropshire, and I'll have a barbell. I'll have a couple of plates, and I'll have some bands. So I'm like, well, what can I do? And I'm thinking, well, I've got to start basic and cut it all down. And so start small. Don't set up with these. I had lofty ideas, these wonderful band programs, and I think you did it once and it almost killed you. And it's like, it's too much to do at home for someone who doesn't train at home normally.
Yeah.
I think I'd forgotten how much of a big shift it is to do.
I think it's different for you as well, because you do have that dedicated space where you can go switch off. That's your space.
Yep.
You haven't got somebody walking through the living room or whatever, or somebody coming outside to put the washing out and stuff like that to distract you from it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, so I've gone through it a few times, like because I travel quite a lot for work, and believe it or not, I don't always get in a 5-star hotel with a gym and a pool. I mean, I do sometimes, but not always. So a lot of it is especially when traveling in Africa, I'll have a hotel room, that's a bed and a bit of space. And so for me, I'm away for a month. If I don't train, this is one of the questions for your would you rather later in the week. But if I don't train, I will go bonkers, and my wife will leave me, and my clients will hate me, and I'll be unbearable. Because I know I need that for my mental space. So I'll take some bands, and I'll find something to do in that room. Or I've gone to a park in the middle of Hong Kong and just train with the elderly ladies who are doing their Tai Chi. I've stood in the corner with some bands, do some push-ups, do some tree. But that goes back to my why, which is my mental health.
Yeah.
Am I motivated? No. So I design a program that I can get in and out in 30 minutes. I do enough. And I think that a lot of people who are at home, there was this perception at lockdown, which was like, we joked about it. I'm going to come out of lockdown prison jacked. I'm going to come out like Scott Steiner. And it's not realistic. I mean, it was for me. Don't get me wrong. I've come out of this stronger than I've ever been. But I had a home gym that was probably kitted out better than most commercial gyms. Yeah. And I took that and I thought, this is my last 12 weeks in it, so I'm just going to do a really nasty, hardcore program so I can come out and sell a V to the home gym life and go back to commercial gyms in Switzerland, because the gyms are open in Switzerland, by the way. So when I go over there, I'll be able to train.
You realise if I'm off work, I'm coming with you.
I'm expecting to see you in Mother Wallace's garden. We can set your distance and still live with barbells.
Oh, it'll happen. It'll happen. Guarantee.
So that's
the problem is, though, Chris. The problem is, most of the time when you and I are in Mother Wallace's garden, there is very little training. There is a bit of wrestling and usually drinking. So,
there is. Yeah. It is the.
Now, not being funny, your tolerance isn't what it used to be either.
Tolerance is
Where's me?
Well, I mean,
I am an animal.
While you've been indulging in all the booze,
I have. Yes.
I have been consuming maybe 2 glasses of red wine a week. So my tolerance is horrific. My caffeine tolerance is through the roof.
Yeah. No,
But yeah, no, you would. I think I would have a sniff of one of your scotches, and I would be on my back. I think it'll be a while before I can do buckfast and deadlifts again. Possibly the greatest video that was never made properly.
that was good. That was good.
Okay, now it's time for That Made Me LOL. What I normally do is I trawl through the internet during the week and get half a dozen or so memes or posts that I think are funny. But I haven't done that this week, no. This week's posts and memes have come from Andy Newbrook, who is one of my regular viewers. And we're going to be looking at what has made him lol this week. Let's see if it makes me lol. That's a lot of pineapple. I love me some pineapple. For those who don't know, apparently pineapple is meant to make a man's ejaculate, taste sweet. So, yeah, during lockdown, boys, if you haven't seen your girl, force that pineapple in. Even if you don't like pineapple, just eat it. Eat it all. On pizza, on its own, out of a tin, in a curry. Just eat it, okay? Hopefully she'll thank you for it. I mean, she might not even bother, but maybe she doesn't like pineapple. We do love an anal joke on Regan's Ramblings. Anal jokes and kink shaming, that's our thing. Remember, this is a not safe for work video, and if you're under the age of 16, you should not be watching this. You obviously have terrible parents who just don't give a shit. Yeah, so push a stool in. First date etiquette, eh? That's a bit cruel, that is. I mean, I love me curves. You know, dangerous curves you could crash a motorbike on. And Batman's a trooper. He'll do it. Any man who does this, you are a braver man than I. Well, fair play, that's brilliant. Oh, I bet that sofa was loving him for a few weeks. Yep, that's about right. Except it doesn't normally look that happy, it looks a bit angrier. I'm winking. Yeah, but that's true. We don't mean to do that, girls. It's involuntary, completely involuntary. You know, you put your butt a bit too close to us and all. It's a curse. Well, boys and girls, that is what made Andy Newbrook lol this week. And fair play, you made me lol too. What makes you lol, guys? I want to know. Hit me up, Regan_pro_wrestler on Instagram. Slide into my DMs like, or direct email, which nobody fucking uses, regansramblings@gmail.com. Hey folks, now it's time for viewer questions. First up, we got a question from my darling daughter Kate. She says, would I be rather not be able to smell or taste again? Now, I'm not entirely sure about this because I do love smells and I do love tastes. Take, for example, this encompasses both smells and tastes. But I think if I had to choose, I would like to not be able to taste, so I could still smell things like flowers and, you know, rain and stuff. I love the smell of rain, and this smells amazing. A good whiskey, a good coffee, all smell amazing. Whereas with tastes, I think a taste has a less sentimental meaning to people. You know, less sentimental value. I mean, a good smell can bring in memories, you know. But I've never heard of taste doing that. And plus I'd be skinny as a rake if I couldn't taste food. Next question from, well, a few questions from this week's guest Ramble, Chris Home Gym. He says, what are my favourite 3 movements in the gym besides the big 3, you know, besides bench, squat and deadlift? I would have to say I love the leg press, the you know, vertical leg press, because I can get some disgracefully high numbers on that. I like leg extensions, because again I do love training legs, and I love doing cable flies as well. That's pretty cool. Get a nice pump doing cable flies. You can make some funny Arnie faces as well. So yeah, those 3. Next, Chris asks me, would I rather have unlimited first-class worldwide travel or never have to pay for food again? I think I'd go for the first-class travel, because some of the food you can get on that travel is amazing. So, you know, I'd rather just carry on paying for food the way I do, and then just really, really spoiling myself on the first-class travel. Next, Chris asked me a very tough question. Would I rather give up training or sex? Goodbye training. Dave Sessfielder asks me, would I rather eat a dick and sit on a cake, or eat a cake and sit on a dick? I think I'd go for the latter, because you wouldn't have to see the dick coming towards you, which would be beneficial, and you also haven't actually stated what state the dick has to be in. I mean, if it's just a flaccid dick, you know, sit down on it, it'd be fine, no problem. If it wasn't so much, a little bit of lube would be okay. And just remember, just have a drink, because, you know, we all look a bit anal when we've had a drink, don't we? Hayden Rowley asks me, would I rather work for WWE or AEW? Easy answer, AEW, because of the freedom you'd get, the fun you'd have because of that freedom, and I'd possibly get to work with Chris Jericho, and who wouldn't want to do that? Next question from my man Ian Kennedy. He says, what do I think of Leo Moracchioli? I think that's how you pronounce your name. From Leapfrog Studios on YouTube, does metal covers and stuff like that. Not a fan. Not a fan. I checked him out on your suggestion there, and yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan. Next, Sam Owen asks me, when will I win my first wrestling championship? That is a very good question. People who I work for, bookers, producers, promoters, when will I win my first title? Because, hey, I think I look good in gold. I'll put a bitch to prove it. Another simple one from Kate Regan. What's my favourite soft drink? Iron Brew Extra. 0 sugar, more brew. Made in Scotland from Goodus. Mike Starchild Regan asks me a very important question. Fuck, marry, kill. A Womble, a Clanger, or a Dalek? Now, I have to say, you kill the Dalek straight off, because, you know, the Daleks are very hostile, so you get rid of the Daleks. I'd fuck a Clanger, because they make some amazing noises, and I think the Womble would be a bit of a domestic goddess type thing, so yeah, I'd marry the Womble. I think my favourite question I've had for this is from Mike Yap, professional wrestler, big or brutal Mike Wilde. He asks me my top 3 Masters of the Universe figures. Now that is a question, and I would have to go in no particular order. My favourite 3: Stratos, the Birdman. He had a cool helmet and some wings that attached around his shoulders and wrists. Just a really cool, well detailed figure. All the he had like feather etching all over his torso and legs, so he was cool. Mechaneck, he had twisted his waist and his neck went up high. Not sure what the use of him was, but he was just a cool little figure. I remember he had really cool red armour with like a face guard on it. And then finally, just because he's cool, Ram Man. I think he was like the precursor to a lot of the early Hasbro WWE figures, because you pushed him down and he jumped. So yeah, that's my top 3 figures. But I will put an honourable mention in there for Battle Cat, because Battle Cat's just cool. That's it for this week. Right. So week 6 has gone off without a hitch, except for my guest ramble, which went on too long, and we'll now go on to into week 9, which is, I think, a bloody title for that. No, I've enjoyed doing this, guys. What have we learned? Okay, we've learned that most men hate shopping. Well, we knew that anyway, to be fair. Men hate shopping. So next time you're out shopping with the missus and you're being dragged around one of the aforementioned places, and you see a guy who looks like he's in the same situation, give him a nod. Let him know you understand his pain and his plight. I think most shops should start having man chairs. You know, the way they do it in women's clothes shops. They have like a little set of chairs by the dressing rooms. That's a place where you could start making new friends, to be fair, guys. You know, you see a guy there who looks the same as you. Speak to him. What's his story? Find it out. And also, we had a very, very interesting conversation with my man Chris about fitness. About how his home gym has worked out for him, and how it has affected his life in general. We'll hear more from him next week. Until then, guys, be safe and much love.